The Caribbean Sea, known for its stunning beauty and tranquil waters, is now the center of a dangerous standoff between the United States and Venezuela. The presence of U.S. Navy warships near Venezuelan waters has escalated the situation dramatically. Tensions have soared since President Trump's August 2025 directive authorizing military force against drug cartels, with Venezuela as the immediate focus. This directive has led to increased military activity in the region, with U.S. fighter jets and naval fleets patrolling the Caribbean waters. Washington claims its actions target narco-terrorist organizations, but critics argue it's a cover for regime change. Protests have erupted outside the U.S. Embassy in Caracas, with demonstrators voicing their opposition to what they see as foreign interference. Venezuela, already battered by years of crisis and a disputed 2024 election, faces mounting pressure as U.S. warships and jets patrol nearby waters. The sight of military helicopters and warships has become a daily reality for Venezuelan civilians. The U.S. recognizes opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez, deepening the political divide. His rallies draw large crowds, further intensifying the already volatile situation. As both sides trade threats, the risk of a military clash grows, with the world watching anxiously. The tense standoff at border checkpoints and the constant media coverage only add to the uncertainty. The region stands on a knife's edge, where a single misstep could ignite a wider conflict. The dramatic sunsets over the Caribbean now serve as a stark contrast to the looming threat of war. In a dramatic escalation, the United States has deployed a formidable naval force just off the coast of Venezuela, sending a clear message to both allies and adversaries in the region. The operation includes 7 powerful warships, each equipped with state-of-the-art technology and weaponry, patrolling the strategic waters near South America. Alongside the naval fleet, more than 2,000 highly trained Marines have been mobilized, ready for rapid deployment. These troops are seen preparing their gear and conducting drills, underscoring the seriousness of the mission. Advanced surveillance and weapon systems are now on high alert, with crews monitoring the skies and seas for any suspicious activity. This heightened state of readiness signals Washington's determination to disrupt what it claims are drug trafficking routes linked to the Maduro regime. In a further show of strength, the Pentagon has stationed cutting-edge F-35 fighter jets at a key airbase in Puerto Rico. This move comes after a tense aerial encounter with Venezuelan aircraft, raising the stakes in an already volatile situation. President Trump has given military commanders broad authority to respond forcefully to any perceived threats, emphasizing a zero-tolerance approach to aggression or interference. Officially, the mission is described as a counter-narcotics operation. However, the sheer scale and sophistication of the deployment have led many observers to speculate that Washington's ambitions may extend far beyond simply targeting drug traffickers. Critics, both at home and abroad, are raising tough questions about the true motives behind this military buildup. Some warn that it could be a prelude to a much larger intervention in Venezuela's ongoing crisis. As military hardware amasses and tensions rise, local residents in the wider region are left anxiously watching, uncertain about what the next chapter will bring. The Trump administration brands Maduro as a criminal kingpin, not a legitimate leader. U.S. officials have doubled the reward for his arrest and seized hundreds of millions in assets, linking him to the Tren de Aragua gang, now labeled a terrorist group. This designation gives Washington legal cover for military action, framing it as counterterrorism rather than war. Yet, intelligence reports and international data cast doubt on direct ties between Maduro and the gang, and Venezuela is seen more as a drug transit point than a source. The narrative is powerful, but the evidence remains contested. On September 2, 2025, the U.S. military struck and sank a Venezuelan boat, killing all 11 aboard. Washington claimed the victims were narco-terrorists smuggling drugs, but offered no public proof. The attack marked a dramatic escalation, drawing sharp criticism from legal experts and lawmakers who questioned its legality. Venezuela condemned the strike as a violation of sovereignty. The incident sent shockwaves through the region, showing the U.S. is willing to use deadly force based on its own intelligence. For many, the sinking turned abstract threats into grim reality. The stakes and the risks have never been higher. President Nicolás Maduro has forcefully denounced the U.S. military buildup near Venezuela's borders, describing it as a clear act of imperialist aggression and a direct threat to the nation's sovereignty. He has accused Washington of trying to destabilize his government and undermine the will of the Venezuelan people. In response, Maduro has called for mass mobilization of Venezuela's civilian militias, urging citizens to stand together in defense of their homeland and to prepare for any possible incursion. Over 4 million Venezuelan citizens have now joined these militias, training in parks and public spaces, preparing themselves for resistance and vowing to protect their country at all costs. The streets of Caracas and other cities have seen massive rallies, with demonstrators signaling that any foreign intervention would be met with fierce and determined opposition from both the government and the people. While Maduro continues to demand respect for Venezuela's sovereignty and calls for dialogue with international actors, he also warns that any U.S. military action will trigger a strong and immediate armed resistance. The disputed 2024 election and the U.S. recognition of the opposition leader as Venezuela's legitimate president remain major obstacles to peace. Occasional diplomatic gestures such as high-level meetings and cautious statements or a recent prisoner exchange offer only faint hope for easing tensions. But with warships stationed offshore and militias on high alert, the path to de-escalation is narrow, and the risk of confrontation remains ever-present. The region stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain, as the world watches to see what will happen next.